Hello, 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 friends. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I got excited. We're back. We have been gone for so long. We missed you, friends.
Yeah, hi. We're back.
Yes, this is the Annex Podcast. I am Luna.
And I'm Terry.
And we are two quirky educators just navigating through educational news and topics, all of the fun, the foolishness of the news and entertainment, and of course, this new platform of our life called adulthood that we still the kids, but we the adults. So we're trying to figure it out and not do the mistakes of our forefathers and our parents and try to figure out the new.
I will forever be in the youth ministry. Not leaving.
I know. I still feel like I'm still a teenager. I don't know why. I just still feel that way. Like
Energy is not. They say it's you as young as you feel. You are as young as you feel. So I feel.
How old you feel today?
Today, well, early I felt about 68.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right.
With the rain and the cold. Yep. Yeah. Your knee was twitching. You knew the rain was
coming. My knee was hurting this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a lie.
Yes, honey.
But like after my nap, my 68 nap.
Okay. Mid-afternoon nap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel about 25.
Yeah, I mean, it fluctuates. There's just like you said, there's times of the day where I feel like I'm 827, like I've been here in the time before time. And then there's days where I feel like I'm like 16 and I'm like, yeah, let's get it.
I will never feel 16 again. You know why?
Why?
Because I always have bills. And the bills will always remind me that I'm above 18.
You know what? The 16 is like a flash. It's like a flash. Like, you know how when you get to you become a woman of a certain age, you have flashes. Yeah. Well, I have a youth flash and I have a mature flash. And my youth flash, is when you just feel like, yes, like when you have that moment, yes, let's do it, of that impulsivity. And then you flash back to that you're over 21 and you have bills and you're like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should do that later. Or maybe I should, plan for that and not just do that impulsively. So, yeah, I get you. But we have been on a hiatus, friends, because the school year started about a month or so ago, and we had to just get ourselves realigned or reorganized and focus to make sure that we were, and our community was just organized because it's a whole heap of things happening. So we're going to talk about
it. It's day 36 for us today and day 27 for the students. Good evening.
Yes, because as you may or may not know, getting into these scaffolds and memos right now, remote learning started before the hybrid in school and online learning. So we both engaged and are engaged in remote learning. So it's definitely a huge learning curve. We definitely aren't where we were in March and April, but we definitely aren't where we want to be. But we're working to get there.
Well, I'm doing the blended. Mm-hmm. I'm going into the trenches.
Let me tell you something. It's two different worlds. People don't believe it, but it's two different worlds. I'm fully remote and Terry is blended. So it's two different worlds. So we're definitely going to talk about today blended versus remote. Now, for me in remote, I have a full roster. I have 32 students in counting. Right. Because every week, or listen, not even every week, every day, you're stepping into a new situation. Like we thought it was like crazy when we were fully in the classroom, like every day you never know what's going to happen. Now you really don't know what's going to happen because since the beginning of the school year, our roster has been rolling because they've had to create new classes because at that point, students were still coming in or coming into the remote learning, and new admits as well. So our current roster, as well as new students transferring into the school. So our roster has continuously been changing every week, every day. We still, and I just heard we still have new students coming. So they're probably going to have to open another remote class.
Well, I know that DOE opened up a week for people to apply for blended.
Right.
So the one window that you can apply to have your child come into school on one of the days. But they're only doing this one time. Remember, when we first started, they said they were going to do it
every semester.
But I guess
or every quarter.
It was going to be a lot because, you know, people change their minds all the time, and it would be just harder on the staff because somebody woke up one day and was like, you know what, Shantae, you going to school. Because you are tired of looking at her. So we'll see what the roster looks like for us. So right now in blended, we have two groups. We have group A and we have group B, depending on the in-person model the school chose.
Mm-hmm.
The group A 2 days and group B 2 days, and then you alternate every other day. Something every other, like for some schools it's every other Monday. Group A comes in every other Monday. Group B comes in, something like that. It just depends on
the model they chose.
They chose, but yeah, the classes are small, definitely, but it just feels big, you know, like
because of all the social distancing all the routines you have to do as far as disinfecting and all of that, right?
Yeah, and then also because you can't call, you know how like if you wanted to have an intervention or a small group, it's not like if you wanted to do guided reading, you could call a group to the back. Like you literally have to, I don't know about like the older grades, but you literally have to walk around all day.
Mm-hmm.
To just make sure that, you know, especially if you have smaller children, that they're on task. You know, remember, they've been out of school for almost 6 months. So they're readjusting. Okay, you have to put your mask back on. Like, it's a lot of that. Or you have to stay in your seat. Or it's a lot of, like what we predicted it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Like, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. But there are times when I'm like, you're not socially distancing. Why are you up? Like, and they're like,
you just have to remind them.
They get excited, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and they post their friends and things like that. It's, you know, the day is a bit shorter. The day goes by really fast. It flies. Like, you know, I am ever so pleased that it's Thursday, but I feel like it was just Monday 2 minutes ago. So
yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. Oh, I'm back in the classroom. So as you have
everybody's all in.
It's
all hands on deck.
You got people that haven't been in the classroom for 25 years in the classroom, trying to remember what it was like.
Right. And it's so, and then the I don't even know if I would say the opposite. In remote, it's like you are on, like all the behavioral issues. Like it's not it's more humorous than a problem, because they're in the comfort of their own home. There's a certain level of lax. Mm-hmm. Because they you know, you don't want to tell them they can't be comfortable, but at the same time you want them to be alert. So it's a lot of excuse me everyone, hello everyone. Like it's like when you do the standardized testing, you have to make those general announcements and not necessarily call out names unless it comes to that. Like everyone should be alert. Everyone should be sitting up on their bottom. Everyone should be focused. No one should be playing with any siblings or anyone else in the background. Please make sure you're focused. It's a lot of like saying that and reminding them. I don't know how many times a day we say, please remember our classroom protocols and expectations. You know, is that part of our protocol? What's the protocol?
Like,
okay. And
like I remember like that first week when we were fully remote, and we were getting acclimated with the students. Like every time we went on live, when they didn't see me, they saw the Google Classroom etiquette, because like I had to continue to remind them. It was so cute because like you said, they're home, they're comfortable. And I'm like, sir, can you put on your shirt?
Can you put on a shirt, please? Thank you.
I'm too young for that. Like, can you put your clothes on? Like,
can you not have a water gun while we're doing instruction?
Can you put your baby sister down? She's cute. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, hi Fluffy. Hi Fluffy. Hi. Yes, we love the fur babies, but Fluffy needs to go. Okay. Like, it's so, and you have to be professional the whole, and what's even better about the remote learning that I absolutely love, and I have made sure to make them part of our class family, are the grownups, you know, and they see what's happening, you know, and this is just remote. So imagine the in school, in the building, in the classroom. So they see, and when you have your conferences with the parents of their concerns, your individual conferences, they'll bring these things up and they'll say, you know, my hat's off to you, you know, and the team, because I don't know if I would be able to keep my composure with some of the things that are going on, you know, in these homes or with the scholars or what have you. And they're just like, I commend you, because I don't have that level of patience, and you always, you know, you always stay calm. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how the team does it, but you guys do it, and it's just amazing. And they're like, and this student is getting on my nerves. And, you know, and so they see it, and even with their own children, they start to see, like, you know, when you have those almost confrontational, uncomfortable conversations, when you're like, you know, your child needs this support, and I'm noticing this, and this, and they're like, oh, you know, not my child. And then they're sitting there and they're seeing, like, and I literally had a parent one day, I gave directions in 3 different ways, showed a visual, showed the directions, put the directions in one place, put the directions in another place, so that they had it in more than one place. And, you know, I was working with a group or speaking to a parent, and a student said, I don't know what to do. And a parent literally unmuted themselves and was like, she said that you need to do, and she said it almost verbatim, my directions. And she was just like, and I could see her face like, I don't understand why they didn't understand the directions. So it's like they're starting to see, all right, when these teachers are saying these things, it's not, you know, they're not picking on anybody. It's not a lie. It's not, they're saying it to be, you know, political or whatever. This is what's happening. This is the real, you know, when this child is not, you know, is working independently, these are the behaviors they're exhibiting, and it's 100% true, you know. And I see the parents reminding their children of the protocol. They're like, and I hear them using the language. They're like, is that the classroom protocol? Yeah. What's the protocol? And they do it, and I hear them, and I'm like, yes, because sometimes I have my camera off, and I'm like, yes, and I'm like, yes. And I'm like, yes, they get it. The parents get it, you know, so they know. So I'm like, if your parent knows, that means you have no excuse not to know. So it's like, when you're talking about those community ties, those family ties, I'm really seeing it now. I know in the beginning of remote learning back in March, it was like, oh, the teachers, they don't get paid enough. And then it went back to, oh, those horrible teachers, they do nothing, they're lazy. And now we're back in the trenches, and they're like, oh, we forgot. Yeah, you guys really do, you know, put in the work, and you put in more work, because I've even had people say to me, what are you doing in your classroom? How many hours are you on with your students? You're doing too much. I'm like, I'm not doing enough. Because if they are behind from March, we don't even know that they were all online. We still have significant amounts of students across the board that are not coming online, don't have the appropriate devices, and all their devices aren't working, or it could just be the networks and the programs have given out, these programs have tried to update their websites and do all that, but they cannot handle the pure volume of students and teachers and administrators that are on their sites at one time that it is just not working. It's not meant, it was not built for that. So when you have, hundreds and thousands of people trying to get onto this one site at one time that's supposed to be used kind of as a resource supplement, not as a major key educational tool, then you have, issues where students can't get on to do the work that they need to do during the school hours. So now you have to revamp your schedule and your expectations and so on. So it's a lot. It's a lot, friends.
It's a lot. Like, even with the blended, like, there are different challenges. Mm-hmm. So, like, you have a group, say I have a group Tuesday, Wednesday, then you put work online, but not everybody understands that the importance of, like, doing that work online. So, like, it's just been a learning process. So, like, it's like not even an option anymore to post new things online, because again, you don't know if their device is going to be temperamental that time when they're home, because again, They're switching networks from the DOE network to their home network, and these devices are really temperamental. Like, they work when they feel like it.
Pretty much.
Tough, so you can't really, like.
But I think, again, it comes back to that whole, like, it just wasn't ready. The system wasn't ready.
It wasn't ready. And it's just, and it's still a work in progress. You know what I mean? So, like, with having to manage them online and making sure they're logging in and having to manage them in school, like, I'm still trying to figure out, and it's going to be November, just like a way to, like, make it work so that I'm not burnt out and the kids are not burnt out as well. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot, and I really feel like it's gonna be, this is what it's gonna look like until June.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it is what it is. Like, we just, like, one of the themes that our team continues to, like, say is just, like, it is what it is. You can't push yourself and stress yourself over things you can't control. This is our situation,
Yeah.
And I had to, like, learn that, because I have, like, fake OCD, so, like, it is what it is, and we could just do our best. But I do see the benefits of the students coming in, because at least I get to see, and it's like private school. The class is so small. You're getting all my attention. Right. And one of the things that I've noticed is that, how you have your shy students. If it's like 6 of you, you can't hide in that group of 25 anymore. You know what I mean? So it's also, like, helping the students
with their confidence
and promote their participation. Whereas they might sit for 3 months and have not shared if the teacher wasn't cognizant of that, or maybe, didn't realize it, because they're so quiet and nice. But now I see you. Not you. Okay, yes.
I know. They cracked me up. They're like, I didn't raise my hand. I was like, noted, but I called on you. And they're like, ooh, okay. So, it keeps them on their toes, and they, as long as you keep it fun and engaging, it's like.
I love the brain breaks.
Yes, the brain breaks are fun. We do our tapping. That's our new thing from our I don't know if your school has it, but we have I think the organization is called BrainWorks.
Oh no, we don't have.
Okay, so BrainWorks is basically an organization that helps you kind of connect your body, your emotions, and your mind. And basically, it's basically just doing, like, kind of, taking a moment to do some kind of refocusing, some mindfulness, some meditation kind of things, and just kind of like stretching, like doing yoga-esque kind of stretches, and like tapping is a new thing. Like, when you tap, it, like, kind of releases the tension from different parts of your body when you tap. I don't know the exact science behind it. I have to research it and post it later. But you just tap and tap, and we do that. I do that with the students, and we tap. They love it. They're like, I'm like, tap, tap, tap. tap, and tap your nose, and I'm singing with, I'm sing rapping with, I'm like, tap your nose, now take it to your cheeks, and and they love it. They're like, yes, they're like when I say, all right, it's time to move, it's a movement break, they're like, yes. Like, you see them like pushing their chairs back, making room, and even their grown-ups come in and their grown-ups do it too. So it's like, it really is this new, the new now is just like a new kind of family and connection that I'm seeing, that I don't feel like I've ever necessarily felt before. Only in years when I kind of had like class parents, you might have felt it a little bit, because those parents were always there to support. But now it's like everybody in the family, like mom, dad, brothers, sisters, aunties, grandmas, godmothers, like they know me. They text me, Miss Ryan, help. Oh, oops, excuse me, told my whole name, right? And like, I need this, I need that, whatever. So it's just a different feel now. Like, it's just a different connection. I don't feel that kind of, like, everyone has anxieties right now about all of this.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you create the environment for them not to feel it as much as possible, like if they know that you're doing everything in your power to make sure that their child is okay, then they feel a little bit more at ease. Like, they're not 100%, but they're not like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out, So I feel like when you create that environment for them, regardless of what craziness may be going on, at headquarters, central administration, if you just create that environment for them, I feel like it kind of calms everything else out, and they have those conversations with their children about, what they're doing in school and things like that. Then I think that, and of course the teachers communicate it. I think it's just, it is helpful.
And one of the things that, like, being back in the classroom, I mean, I used Class Dojo before, but like this time, like, I've learned how to use it on a different level, and I love it. Like, I kind of wish I utilized it. I don't know if it had the capability the way it does now back when I was in the classroom, but it definitely creates that communication with the parents, and I'm able to like post different things that we've done in the classroom.
Yeah, it had that before.
Yeah, I didn't use it like that. I just used different points. And then
also, I would post like when we had our our shows and stuff like that. I would send like pictures of our shows and of our parties and our celebrations and things. And if I would send, I would send like a general, like one picture, but then specific pictures I would send to the parents of their child.
Wait, I'm lying. I think I did send pictures.
I was like, I feel like you did do that, but
now that this is my 72 moment. I did.
All right. She had a 72 flash.
But did it have, I don't recall, maybe you can help me, the feature where it translated?
That I don't remember. I can't remember.
It translates, so I can type something and the parent sees it in their language. So
yes, it did have that, because I remember a parent sent me a message and it said translated.
Oh, okay. So I don't remember using. Maybe my parents, we just didn't utilize it because
you didn't have the students. You didn't have the ENL students,
right? No, so maybe definitely, I love that aspect, and it does.
And it is helpful.
They have a sense of community that I appreciate. But I'm just, I like this. This is cute for now. But when I say June, whatever, 2020, I'm about the books and the smoke. I renegade. I would never. Deuces, like, for real. Like, this is cute. We all a part of the team, but baby, when this is over, I really might be looking at the Trader Joe's like, yo.
You are funny.
you're not hiring. This is like.
But how are you balancing it with your home life? Because I know there's a lot more demand. I mean, not a lot more, different demands than you had before, because the position you had before was demanding, but this is a different kind of
I'm still
demand.
trying to balance it. Actually, after this podcast, I will be on my laptop. There's some tasks that I have to do. I took a strong nap. I take a shower when I get home. And today I took a strong nap. It's a little bit harder for me because, again, with my position, I'm posting also for remote learning for the kids when they're not with me. So that's been a bit of a challenge because I just realized that I'm extra, which hence.
Wait, you just realized that? Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, no, because I don't feel like when we worked together, I felt extra. I feel like maybe there was more.
We were always extra, but you were extra.
Maybe, but now I really feel the extra because I do the most. So like I have to scale back a bit for my mental health because I can't be here posting 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock because I want to get it done. So I have to, now I think I've developed a better system. Mm-hmm. But at first, I was good for nobody because like you would think being out of the classroom for 2 years wasn't a lot, but you would have. It felt like I haven't been in the classroom for 25 years. I had to remember.
A year is like a lifetime sometimes.
Girl, so like now it's coming along. Just trying. I have to get back into the rhythm of like cooking on Sundays because with being remote. Remember, we were remote too, so we went home too, basically from March until September. So, I didn't, the habits of that I had as a working mom, I didn't have to have because I was home. So right. I could be on my call and making my meals for that day or like doing my work and multitasking in the home. Mm-hmm. So like getting back into the trenches and actually commuting to work and then coming home. At first, it took a big toll on my body because my body was like, excuse me, excuse me.
Question.
Order. It was like objection. My body at first was like, nah, B, we didn't, what? I thought we were home. Like, what are we doing? So I think I'm getting used to it now. Like, I'm not as groggy at 5 a.m. when I'm up on the highway. It's really dark. I told another teacher, I'm like, oh, you get here at nighttime too? But I mean, it's a readjustment. I just feel like it is what it is. And the time is going by. Listen.
It's November next week.
Right. You know what I mean? So, all is not lost. Mm-hmm. And we just have to do what we do and make the best of it. But again, like we have spoke about in our prior episodes, just finding a way to take care of yourself. I have to refine a way to kind of have my self-time because I'm not going on my daily walks anymore. I definitely have stopped exercising. So I have to get back into finding those routines that I wonderfully developed during quarantine. Mm-hmm. I have not started exercising again. So like things like that or taking time to do me. It's just all about work. But that's about to be, done. I'm going to figure it out.
Right. Well, every day is I said it's to quote Sheryl Crow, every day is a winding road. So, but we get a little closer every day to feeling fine, right? So.
And naps, like remember we talked about my naps, like that nap that I took, it might have been an hour and 30 minutes, but I feel so much more refreshed, so at least I feel like I have a little energy to do something, until it's time for me to go back up to bed. And then guess what? Tomorrow's Friday.
Yay!
I do that with the studio. I'm like, Friday.
I know.
So like, there's like a YouTube Friday. YouTube? Let me tell you something. That resource,
it's great.
it is, you can find anything you need on there.
Yes. Yes.
We
They
did
have this thing
yoga for
called
kids.
Living Books. Have you heard of that before?
No.
So it basically takes like regular books, but makes it into like a read aloud / show.
Oh, let
So it
me.
still has the actual words from the book, but there's like a show going on of the characters of the storytelling, but it has the actual words from the book on the page. So it tells the story, but they also have extra acting of the retelling of the story going on at the same time.
Oh, I just put it on my phone, so I'm gonna look.
Yeah. So we did because we were doing like character development and stuff like that. So we did one of the faves, Stella Luna.
I just saw Stella Luna.
Yeah, so we did Stella Luna, and then we talked about fears when we were doing our SEL lesson. So we did the Berenstain Bears, and they had a fears episode, if you want to call it that.
Nice.
Yeah. So and we did also with the fears, we did what's her name? Sheila Ray the Brave.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that one too. That was the best one. They loved Sheila Ray the Brave. But that's one of my favorites as well. So that was pretty cool because I was actually looking for Chrysanthemum.
Oh, we did Chrysanthemum. That was my bulletin board.
Yeah. So, but then I saw Sheila Ray the Brave, which is by the same author. So I said, oh, let's do Sheila Ray. That's even better. Yeah. So, yeah, there's so many resources that sometimes it's hard to like fine tune because it's just so much to everyone's like, oh, try this and try this and try this, and you're like, okay, wait, it's too much. So there's just a wealth of resources and knowledge out there, so you just have to kind of navigate through it. But friends, we're just going to keep you posted on the scaffolds and memos and what the changes are as they come. So moving on to Earth is Ghetto and I am out.
Let's see. So much has gone on.
Early voting. This is voting season.
Oh, yeah.
So early voting is something that they, have made available before, but this year for the presidential elections, it's been real. I was in those streets and it was real. I mean, it was safe and it was fine, but it was just the pure volume of people that are going out to vote, which is great. But it was just a lot, and they were not prepared for that many people.
How long were you online?
I was online for 8 hours.
Oh, my coworker was online for 4. Oh, wow. 8.
Well, I went the very first day, so it was 8 hours because the problem. Yeah, everybody was saying it. It's like we did a whole work shift, and they're like, dude, they should send us a box with a I voted shirt or I voted hat.
All the paraphernalia.
Because not the problem, because it's not a problem, but the issue was that people came out early to vote because the polls didn't open till 12, but there were people there from 10 a.m. And one of the gentlemen that was in charge of the particular place where I was said that when he came outside at around 10 o'clock just to look, there were already 50 people online. So between 10 a.m. and 12, who knows how many people got on the line, because a gentleman that was 10 people ahead of me got there at 11:55.
Wow.
So that lets you know like how many people were really ahead of him. So those people who got there at 10 o'clock, they probably only were online for maybe 3 hours. But, well, more than 3 because they were there from 10. But if we're talking from the moment of voting that the polls opened, then they probably did do like 3 or 4 hours. But I mean, it varies because where I live, you can vote anywhere in the county. So I didn't have to go to the polling place in my city. I could have gone in anywhere in the county, but it's the luck of the draw because there was another gentleman that was there earlier and he came to see somebody on the line that was in his family. Where he went, it was only a 3-hour wait. So it depends. It was really the luck of the draw. So, you know.
Well, I voted already, but in my town, we had the mail-in ballots.
Right. And they were collecting those at my voting post as well, because, you know, they were warning people not to mail it because it may not reach in time. So they did have people there with boxes to take their ballots at the voting center. So you could have brought them in.
Voting was not an option here because I Googled it. It's not an option out here. So everyone is just basically dropping their ballots at the voting center out here. And I've done it. So yay, I did my duty.
We did our civic duties. Yeah, but I think.
But I seen I was watching the news. They were talking about it, you know, and like people with their chairs. If people have chairs, I saw people like sitting in there, like
people had like their you know, like the chairs you can get for when you go to games or when you go to parks, the you know, the chairs. People brought those with them. They were very smart about it. There were actually some of the local organizations and places of worship. They had their, like the church buses brought people in and they had chairs. So they shared with some of the people that were on the line and they offered chairs to like the elderly or whomever that happened to be online. And, you know, they were helpful. They actually gave us like snacks. The church had some extra snacks. So they handed out chips and cookies and water to people waiting online,
which very nice.
Yeah, which you know, the lovely Christian people. That's what they handed out. So we were very grateful for that. Yeah, so yeah, people were smart about it. They brought their chairs and things with them. So, and I think part of it was too that people were waiting online and they called their family members and had them come and they brought, you know, chairs out as well.
Well, I'm very happy to see, I am very pleased to see the numbers of people in our communities really making an effort to vote, because this election really is a big determining factor of where our country goes. And it is another thing that can give anxiety, because it go right or left, literally. Literally. So I know that, you know, I just really hope that people are choosing love over hate and choosing the community. You know, I know some people are choosing off their best interest. Well, we'll see what happens. This is like maybe one of the most pivotal elections of my lifetime, outside of when my boo ran, because that's still my guy. But that was also an important election as well. But this one, I feel, and then I was on social media. I think someone posted like there were people that were Trump supporters and there were people that were white Biden supporters, but they weren't us. Literally having a fist fight. And someone posted, "This is Black people, this is not our fight." And I'm like, people are so riled up in their emotions this election. Like, it's real. Like, people are like throwing hands.
Listen, and we're in, I don't know, you know, y'all know I'm mystical and magical. You know, so we're in a retrograde right now. So emotions are high, communications are being disruptive, technology is acting crazy. All those things happen during a retrograde. So you're going to see a lot of like just people expressing themselves, people coming out of the woodworks that you haven't seen or heard from in years, speaking, you know, impulsively in some cases, or they're speaking, but their message isn't clear, or they're not being clear enough, or it's being misunderstood or misread. So you're going to see a lot of that happening right now, especially, you know, in the next week or so. And then it's going to start to like clear up a little bit. But
I just like, what I need for people to do is chill out.
Because
because like I didn't see the entire clip, but I heard a story about like Offset, the rapper, his car was attacked.
Yes.
By Trump supporters at a rally. Why are you attacked? I'm just trying to drive through. Like, what are you doing? Like, I need that to like, Alana, I need them to chill out with all of that. I mean, I need them to chill out all of that, because it's just like, have your opinion. That's fine, because we all have the right to think what we want to think and have our own personal opinions. This country was built on differences of opinion, right? That's why we have democracy and we have checks and balances, which I feel like is not really checked and balanced. Basically, from what I'm seeing, it's not really being checked and balanced. But why you have to attack me? Because, you know, maybe I don't agree with you. Like, what is that about? You know? And
that's a whole nother section of something, because that is just years of being unchecked.
Yeah.
And that's what that comes from, like just years of being unchecked and people just being like, oh, that's okay. He, you know, he's just being himself or whatever. And, you know, that's just years of just being able to do whatever you feel like you're doing whenever you want to do it, whenever the impulse pushes you to do so. And no one's saying, yo, chill out. That's not right. Everybody around you going, yeah, cheering you on and encouraging the behavior. And, you know, when we talk about like-minded people, like-minded isn't necessarily something positive. So he could have been around, or she could have been around them, they, Z, I don't know. You know, we have so many pronouns now in 2020, want to recognize everybody. They could have been around like-minded people who believe that that's okay. That's an okay way to express yourself. You know,
what's happening is that we are not our ancestors. So we are in the checking business.
We're in the business of checking people.
We are in the business of checking people, and you will be checked. Okay? So, and I'm just going to pray that election day, people keep their cool. That's all. That's my prayer.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm going to be in my house. So I think we fully remote that day.
Yes, we are.
Thank God. Because I don't want to be nowhere near the outside when these results come through on either side. So we'll see. Just pray, guys. Just say a prayer. Pray to your ancestors. Just whatever you do, meditate. We're going to put out some good energy and just hope things go in a positive way.
Yeah. In other news,
our channel. Oh, so Offset and Cardi B got divorced, undivorced, and divorced, and undivorced, and divorced, and undivorced.
It be like that.
It be like that. It be like that.
I mean, I don't have much to say about that. Like, it's just
like, you know what?
All right.
Whatever makes you happy, but you know, unfortunately, social media, even for regular folk like me, gives people the opportunity to be in your business. If you post it, you are giving them the okay to be in your business and have an opinion. So with famous people, like, your business is out there. So I know she went, Cardi B, I heard, went on like a live and kind of was explaining herself, how people were saying she was in an abusive relationship, and she was kind of like justifying her actions. And then I heard she like shut down her Twitter because some people are still home and have all the time to post their opinion. I don't have that time. I can scroll for maybe 5 minutes and then I'm done. I have to do something else. So there's some people that literally sit on Instagram and Twitter for hours commenting, and that's that's their life. And if you're a stan, you taking it personal.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just like, if I was her friend, like, because I love Cardi, because I feel like she's like my spirit animal in a way. If I was like her friend, I'm like, girl, just don't say anything. Just, because you're famous, boo. Like, if you're gonna deal with him, you guys just both need therapy, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
real. And that's been like the push these days. Just like, go talk to someone about it. Like, clearly there's a glitch in the relationship where you guys keep going back and forth. So you got it. You could see, you have access to Auntie and Zan. Listen, you're famous. She will welcome you with open arms and an open
Yes, you
chest.
better call Ayala.
Call Ayala, Cardi.
Beloved.
Ayala. She's coming back the 31st. She will love the ratings because I would tune in. Offset and Cardi on Ayala. I would record it and save it.
I'll watch that.
I will be there.
Yeah, I mean, relationships are hard enough, but then when you're under the microscope of, social media, all the media, because it's all the media. So, I mean, best of luck to both of them, whatever their decisions are now and in the future. But, I just hope they just make positive decisions for themselves and for their family.
For the baby too.
Yeah.
Mo and I watched the Social Dilemma. Have you heard of that Netflix documentary that's out?
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't watched it.
That's something to watch. It's not unknown knowledge, but to like hear the experts kind of like really show how internet and social media trolls us and controls a lot of our thinking when we don't even know it. Like,
oh, I know it. I'm always watching, because I was talking to somebody about, I was actually talking to one of my girlfriends about, and I always joke about, having children and, and my eggs are dry and stuff like that. I don't wish that on myself, but it's my joke. I go on to Instagram and I scroll like 3 thumb rolls is a whole ad for freezing your eggs.
Oh,
and
God.
I was like, really? Because I didn't search for it. I didn't Google it. I didn't look up a laboratory, nothing. I just had a conversation on the phone with somebody about it. And it wasn't even a whole conversation. It was just a joke. A mention, an act in the conversation. And that popped up. I said, listen.
It's serious, but they literally explain the system and how it works. A lot of it is out of California. And you remember when we were growing up, like those AI movie, artificial intelligent movies, but they would portray the AI as like these robots.
Mm-hmm.
AI are these phones.
Well, that was always present as a form of AI. It's just that we focused on the robots. Whenever you watch any of those AI movies, there's always like a little, like a phone or a little gadget, like the what's her name? The Amazon thing. Alexa, the little player. There's always something little like that. Yeah. There's always something like that. Even when you go look at like just science fiction movies or whatever, you look at like Star Trek, where the AI is right there, like where it's like you ask the console for something and it talks back to you, where you ask it to the synthesizer to make you a meal that doesn't exist there. It creates it out of just matter and molecules or whatever. So it's always the idea, the concept has always been around, but the way that it portrays itself, people just like the idea of it being like personified into like a robot. Because that's something we can connect to and relate to, like another body. So but there's always been like a little gadget or a little nanobots, different things like that. So I know you're not like a science fiction geek, so you don't like, but those things have always been around. You know, it was always like an arm's length away because it was just like the future, the future, the future. When, you know, touch screens were like something of like, again, we expected it to be here in this time, but this time didn't seem, you know, it seems so far away when we were younger. Like the concept of 2020 just seems so far away, and here we are in 2020. Everybody has a touchscreen, whereas in 1978, you know, that was just fiction. That was something you saw on TV.
Literally, like I look at my phone and it opens. Like, that's crazy.
Yes, I can wave like this in front of my phone and it'll take a picture.
Right. Like, it's just, I just, you know, and it's continually, it's going to continually develop, and who knows, you know, but what they're trying to do is put laws in place to add restrictions, because right now there's no restrictions on social media. They don't have any law abiding restrictions to kind of, there's no checks and balances for.
They sure be checking me when I post a music video and they want to take it down.
Oh, when I post my political rant, they take it down, but they don't check themselves on what they troll and like trying to like.
Right.
Like, really, what really blew my mind, which is probably common knowledge, but not to me, like, based on where you are in your Google search, is what information is shown to you. So, like, right. For example, things in the South is going to be more pro-Trump ads and things like that, whereas here, it's going to be more pro-Biden, something like that. Like, literally, based on your region is what you see. So that's
absolutely.
This divide, because we are being fed different information based on where we live.
Right. When I watch my streaming, any one of my streaming, and you know they have like the little commercials in the streaming, they have ads for the school I attend.
Wow.
I'm like, I didn't even know they had commercials. So. And they're like, yeah, attend this school. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, it's always been around. It's always there. And when you get a service, you know, when you sign up for a service, when you sign up for an email address, when you sign up for a cell phone, there's always a small print at the bottom of that contract that you sign. You don't read it, but it's there. And it says they can do whatever with your private. First, they put in big letters, we will not sell your information. Then at the bottom, it says, yes, we will sell all your information. So it's like, you know, so I think it basically says, and somebody can correct me in comments later or whatever. I think it basically says, we will not sell your information I think it says we will not sell your information for profit necessarily. But I think somewhere in there, they kind of maneuver and manipulate it to where they get it to a third party that is related to another shell company that sends the money back to them if you sign up over there. Like, it's some kind of thing like that. So they have their fingers in the pot somehow in some way, but we all sign it because we want the whatever it is, the service, the item, the device, whatever it may be, we want it, and you know, we're fine with it for now, so we sign it.
Well, hey Siri, listen, I don't care how much you glitch, I'm not getting the 12. Thank you.
Right, and that's the other thing. When there's a new mixtape about to drop from whatever, if it's the new phone, it's the new watch, it's the new whatever, they start glitching in your current
now device. Your device don't work. Now you can't click on your app. Like,
right. And you're like, and I'm watching them. I'm like, you know, I don't want any of this. I don't want any new devices. You know, it's not necessary. And so then I'm like, then they're like, oh, upgrade, you know, upgrade to this software. And you're like, should I upgrade to this software? Because part of you is like, I don't want to upgrade, because if I upgrade, then I know, especially with, you know, Apple devices, like things start acting funny when you upgrade, or there's not enough space or enough memory for you to upgrade. But then for other devices, when you do the upgrade, it does start working properly. So I think they give you the new upgrade because they want to give you a taste of, okay, here's the upgrade and see how well it works on your phone. But guess what? It'll work even better if you buy the new device.
Yeah, no.
And so then people, including myself in the past, have been like, you know what? Yeah, I want the new device. Let me do my jump. Let me jump to the new device. Now I'm like, you know what? It's not even necessary, But I don't know. It's just
I don't even know how we got on this topic, but it's cool because this was not on our list.
It sure was.
What's next? Oh,
Behive. To the Beyonce. Now I know she's always saying I'm not a Beyonce fan, and I am a Beyonce fan. I've been a Beyonce fan from before, long before
you.
I was OG Destiny's Child first album fan. Who bought it? Me.
Yeah, because you have been sending me all the Ivy Park. And I'm like, why she send this to me? Because what I'm not going to do is be up at midnight messing with the Beehive. I got to go to work.
You could have purchased it today if you got the invite. I got the invite, so I went on the site today. But you could have gone. Because I was already an Adidas fan, so I already was on their mailing list. So they said, here, you get a first peek. And they sent me an email, but I think it's open to everybody. I don't think you can't not purchase it. It's there, but it's very. I mean, it looks good. Beyonce was working during quarantine, so I mean, the outfits look great on her. They were made like everything else she does. It's made for her. Nobody's built like you, ma'am. So it's made for her body, even though she does have Chloe and.
Oh, you can shop it.
Yeah, Chloe and Halle, I think did a shoot too in the clothing as well, and they look adorable. But it's priced. It's overpriced. Like the whole purpose of her doing a line was for it to be for everybody, for it to be affordable. And
you don't want no $75 tights?
I'm not buying her $95 pants. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, it looks great. It's cute. But I was like, girl, no, nobody's buying that. I mean, people will buy it, the Hive, they ready. But, I mean, kudos to her though. I mean, get out there, and I see the Afro.
See, this is what I'm talking about, Luna. This is why I can't mess with nobody. I gotta go to work, y'all. You're not giving the working people an opportunity to do anything. So they have these green leggings. I'm like, yo, they're pricey, but they're cute though. I click on it to see if they have my size. It's sold out. It's not. Is it? What's today? Today is the 29th.
Yeah.
Oh, it came out today, right?
Yeah.
See? I missed it. I was at work, y'all.
Yeah, I was at work, and then I checked my email this afternoon, so I probably could have went on this morning.
Oh, like a sold out.
But I mean, it's absolutely adorable. I love the line. It's dope. She did a great job, blessings to her and her family, because you know what?
I just got a whole attitude.
It looks great.
Oh, man, it's all sold out. I missed it. I was at work.
Yeah.
Sorry,
B. We're not going to get that right now.
You gotta have like a teacher's edition that you have to like, like do a special sale for us because we busy right now.
I know. Send her an email.
I know.
Get her DM.
We're busy right now. We don't have time to be sitting online to buy your things, and now we missed out.
Yeah.
Hold on, Maria. Wait. Hold what? Apple. Wait. Let me click to see.
Wait, hold on. They accept PayPal? Wait a minute.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Yes, the setting. Wait a second. We're gonna keep talking about the setting in a second. Let me try to get these sites.
It's like, wait, I gotta get this crop top. Wait a minute.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Anyway.
No. And then I think Jay-Z is doing something right now too.
Oh, God. I mean, you gotta have money to make money. right?
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, kudos to her. But you know, we won't be purchasing anything unless you roll out a second line, a second
like a second
edition,
wave for
second wave. That's at a discount.
We need like a quarantine discount.
And speaking of lines, we have two local businesses that we would like to promote. The first is Full of Grace, which is a spa escape of products that will cleanse you and comfort you from head to toe. You can find them on Instagram. You can Google them. Just look for Full of Grace, and we have a discount code. So the discount code is Luna15, and you will get 15% off of your order if you use that code. So run on over to Full of Grace, check them out on Instagram, and get some products. Tell them the Annex sent you. And the other is, I don't know if you want to say it, Terry.
Condiment whore.
Because she just loves her. She loves her condiments. So Condiment Whore is condiment themed apparel. So there's shirts and hoodies and hats and different apparel, and more to come. I know different condiments, doing fun and socially relevant things, funny, humorous things. You know, different little scenarios are on are the graphics. So I have a hat, I have a shirt, I have a hoodie. I don't have them on right now, but I love them. Oh, actually, I think I have the hat right here.
I have a hat.
Nope. Where's the hat? Is this it? Yep. All right. So this is the hat. If you can see it.
Nice. I have the yellow one.
Let me poke it out a little bit. So Condiment Whore. So that's the hat, but there are tons of different designs. So just check them out on Instagram as well, or go to their website, and we will post it on our website so you can check those two businesses out. So support those businesses. I don't like saying support small businesses because the goal is not to be small. The goal is to be big. So support the both businesses, support local businesses, support brown businesses, women in business, support it all. Support your friends. So I just want to put those plugs in since we were talking about, expanding brands. And as we talk about expanding, let's float on over to adulting.
Yeah.
#adulting. So we touched on it a little bit earlier about, the balancing act of, being back into the classroom. And I know a lot of other people in different lines of work went back to work as well. So just transitioning from being in quarantine for months and then being back at work, whether it's physically in the work building or just sitting in front of a device and working and still balancing at home. Because I know for some educators, including yourself, they're working remotely and their children are working remotely as well. And so they have to, monitor them.
Monitor the refrigerator. Because what's happening is I'm being eaten out of a house and a home. And I literally know what that means when my mother used to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
because you have teenagers now and they just eat for fun.
No such thing as leftovers in this home. Like, I literally will cook something and I'm like, oh, okay, that can be for dinner tomorrow. I will come home and it's not there anymore.
That was late night snack number one.
And I'm just sitting here like today. I got a phone call from my daughter. I thought we were gonna have some more pasta. We're gonna eat for dinner, but when I came in and someone had some and there's no more, I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
You ain't gonna talk to her like that.
You know I said it like that. Because what she's not gonna do today is cook a meal today. Now, like, because usually, like, if I'm gonna cook a meal, I have to take the meat out. I didn't take anything out because in my brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
We made pasta. Mm-hmm. Usually pasta lasts, right? Not today. Not today.
Not today.
And I can't, like, I need that stimulus. We got an EBT card. It's gone. The state provided an EBT card for families that had children in school to help support with the food. It was like a little cute little $300. That was gone in one setting, but
I was like, that's one shopping trip.
Yeah, like I called. Why did I call the number to see? I was like, I want to see if they like gave us a re-up. Did they re-up the card? No. Re-up. There was no re-up. So I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like rumoring. I don't know if it's true or not. I know we had, just in case, there's a strong possibility that we might go fully remote again. Based on, because the cases are increasing. Mm-hmm. Like, mm-hmm. I'm listening to Christ and the Corona because inspiration. I understand people are saying like this is the new normal, but for me, like, I can't accept this as being any type of norm for me, because sometimes when I'm outside and I see everyone with their mask on, I have to like bring myself back, because it just feels like a nightmare that I'm in and it just will not end. And that's why like I have to like disconnect from social media, and I don't like going outside because it kind of puts you into the situation, because you have to see it. You have to see everyone with their mask. And mm-hmm. Whereas when we were home, you were home and you knew, but it was like you were in your own space. But now being outside more and having to be outside, it's different. I mean, work does keep me busy. Mm-hmm. But like I told someone the other day, like after this, everybody's gonna need therapy. Like the stock therapy is gonna go through the roof. Every therapist should be booked and busy for the next 2 years. Everybody should. This is all trauma. Mm-hmm. Everybody, regardless of your age, your race, anything. This is traumatic. And I don't know, girl. Like, I don't know.
I just think it's interesting, because how weird is it going to be? God, willing, we are back in the building next fall. And we're back, back in our same buildings. And if we see the scholars or the students that were in our class for the whole year for the first time in person.
Oh, man.
That's going to be really interesting. Like, I think I might actually cry if, I'll not the older students, but the younger ones, I'll definitely see in person, and it'll just be very emotional. And that's a whole other basket of, I don't know.
I said that, like, if I'm kind of glad that this might be the situation till June, because in my brain, when we first started, and they're like, if, things go back to normal, you'll go back into your office, whatever, and the teacher will come back. And I'm like, I'm attached to these little people right now. I don't want to leave them.
And that's the thing. And that's why I don't think it's going to be like, okay, so we're going to go back to the building in April.
Those are my boo. Those are my babies. I don't want to leave them yet. Like, even when I had a class, like some classes, I was like, bang. Mm-hmm. Others, I'm like, mm-hmm. I cried like the last day of school, because you develop such an attachment. Mm-hmm. You're spending all your time with these people every day, all day. So mm-hmm. I don't know, girl. I don't know. But let me see. Just another lockdown, relationships. Guys, this whole Corona is adulting.
It is, because, you just hear and you see so many stories about relationships, and you know what? It could have been on its path there anyway. But you see, relationships, whether it's romantic relationship or friendships, family ties, or what have you, where they're being, the bonds are being broken, or, new relationships are starting. So, or just reevaluating, stepping back and reevaluating those relationships, so I don't know. I've heard stories of so many people like breaking up and divorces and, things of
During
that sort
quarantine?
during quarantine. And of course, the opposite of that, I've heard of new relationships budding and beginning and people getting married and, different thing, getting engaged.
Oh, I don't have my ring on. Yeah, that's
during quarantine. So, it's just very interesting to, kind of see those kinds of things because, I've thought about it, like my close relationships, if they've changed in any way during quarantine, if I've gotten farther apart from people or closer or whatever. And I have to say, for the most part, my relationships have been pretty much the same, if not closer.
Remember when we went out last week? When did we go out? Like 2 weeks ago? And I kept looking at you like, I
was like, stop being weird.
I was like,
she's looking at me like that.
Nice. He was like, yeah, you haven't seen me in a long time. I'm like, yeah. I was like staring.
Like, okay, weirdo. All right. But I get it, for me, I'm like, an introvert. So I was just like fine with a lot of it. But there was a point where I was just like, okay, I need to see people. But, but, yeah, I think some of our relationships have gotten even closer where like, we have our chat, our healthy chat, and we text each other pretty much daily, several times a day, every day, so, and it's not even a thought of, oh my God, am I being annoying? It's like that feeling has never, and I have felt like that in the past where, I would text somebody and I would text them the next day and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I being clingy and annoying? Whereas now if I'm texting somebody like in our group, like 3, 4, 5, if not more times a day, I don't feel any way about it.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like anybody feels any way about it. Like, it's just like,
sometimes I'll wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't see this. And then I'll respond like the next day.
Right. So, I feel like for me, just personally, I just feel like if my bonds haven't changed or they've, I guess, improved, or it's just the communication is more frequent than before.
I think if it, for me, it has, in some situations, it definitely improved because now I have like a new sense of appreciation of the people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And like the other day, I went to go see my mom briefly. I had my mask on the entire time. I'm so like protective of her. And even though I tested negative, I still didn't play any games. That morning, I felt a sense of excitement. Like, oh my God, I'm going to see my mom.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird. Like, I felt so excited. And then it dawned on me because I haven't seen her in so long because we can't see each other all the time anymore.
Right.
Especially because she's older or whatever. I really I just call her all the time. But, I think when outside opens, because we're going to put that in the air, when we open fully and normally without the mask and all the stipulations, whatever, hopefully people just have a new appreciation of having the freedom of seeing others and going to a concert, and going to church or going to, whatever we go to, whatever we do without like like restrictions. So we'll see. Some people haven't seen their parents live that live in homes, like the senior homes,
right?
So just I think this is, it's unfortunate that relationships are, because you're seeing your spouse or whoever you're with all the time. Like my daughter, the older one, always says to me, we bonded so much over quarantine. And like now she's like all over me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we had the fast paced life. We were always on a go, but like when we were all home, we had the time to spend together. And like, if she leaves, I feel like I will be sad. Like I'm telling her to stay. She has to go to community college. Like I'm like, no, you gotta stay.
Leave that baby alone. Go where she need to go.
But before I was like, before quarantine,
yeah, right.
She has to go. She has to get out. She has to go live her life. But now I don't want her to leave. I'm like, no, you stay with me. So
I think honestly that it just revealed, if anything else, this really revealed who, we really are and what our intentions are. Because even though you said like you were always living fast paced, it was never like, oh, I don't want to be around you. It was just that we're living and we're working and we're in this, they're in this event and they're in this activity or whatever. So by the time you get a moment to see each other, you're too tired. You just want to go to bed or you're cranky. So everybody's getting on each other's nerves. So it's whatever. But now that you have the time to kind of detach from all of those things and all you have is each other and whatever is in your home, now you really get to take the time and look and see, like, what do I really know about you? Do I really like you like that? Like, and get to learn each other. And I think some people realize in that time that this person they may have been with, if it's like a romantic, kind of thing, this is really not the person that they thought they were, because now they're actually spending time with them, they're living with them, and they're seeing them as they are. And they're like, and that's just on a general level. That's not even dealing with, the trauma of being in quarantine, the trauma of being away from other family members, the trauma of just life in general, all the traumas they may be holding on to and have and was or was not aware of it. So it's just like layers of things, and and you've had these months of these layers being peeled back, and so people are making these decisions now where they're how caring you are, how nurturing you are, or whatever attribute they have, and they're really reintroducing themselves to each other, and they're really growing and loving each other. So it's like it could go either way.
Yeah. Oh Lord, give me the strength. I just really pray. Like I heard someone saying, "Oh, we might be in this until 2022." I said 2022. I did the Soldier Boy face.
Don't claim that. No,
ma'am. No, ma'am. And we are better than 1918. We are better. There has to be a way. No, we have too many resources developed and too much technology for us to be in a situation until that time. So I rebuke that in Jesus' name. The devil's a liar and a thief. No. So I'm just hoping it subsides and we just go back to just, appreciating life. That's it for me. What about you?
Listen, I'm just glad we're back. Because I have missed this, and I have, missed, communicating with our community in this way. And, I hope that we can just continue to do so and have, beautiful conversations and invite others to come and have beautiful conversations with us. And yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's the report cards?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I got to do that tomorrow, but they shouldn't be too difficult. So thanks for joining us back out of our hiatus, excuse me, friends. And I am Luna.
I'm Terry.
And we are the Onyx Podcast. Till next time. Bye, friends.
Bye.